Namaste, Your Royal Majesty, and welcome to Soul Horoscope Super Scopes. My name is Christopher Witecki. I'm a modern mystic and the sensei to Sirius Joy, here to help you step into your Sirius Joy, which is my little buzzword for enlightenment. For Leos and Leo risings, who I have a fondness for because I'm a Leo rising and I have a Leo moon, so I get excited to tape this particular horoscope. You are excellent at one of the 11 steps to Sirius Joy, and that is step 1. Step 1 is I love. When you're a Leo or Leo rising, you're here to love. You love to love. You love love just for the sake of love. In fact, sometimes I find myself on the path of love and I'm not super in love with it. I just love love so much that I'm kind of like a sheep following the love. So love is what it's all about when you are a Leo. And in the last 30 days, you've been kind of holding back or pulling back on the love because you've been on a 30-day transit with relationships, long-term partnerships, marriage partnerships, business strategies, etc. So this week, you're going to be tested on all the work you did in the last 28 days when it comes to your long-term partnerships, business partnerships, and of course, the most important partnership, the one to yourself, the me-ridge, how we relate to ourselves. So you'll be tested on your own inner harmony and your ability to keep the bliss and keep the peace, all right? Mostly with yourself. We'll talk more on that, but that will go through Tuesday. Then we shift to a new 30-day lesson, trust and intimacy. So right after marriage and partnership, you go right into sex, death, and intimacy. Seriously. And what this comes down to are your own personal boundaries with thyself. Where's the S's? Where are the no's? Where do you draw a circle? Who's in your circle? Who's outside your circle? This is about trusting yourself, really, in the first few days. And this might be a more difficult transit than usual for the Leo and Leo risings because you have a lot of trust upgrading to do this year. Not to mention, I think you've been very distracted by many other aspects of your life. In fact, let's go through all of them as we discuss the possibilities of where you'll be tested in relationships and where you'll be tested with trust issues here in the second half of the week. Now, looking at the week, the test of trust is somewhere between Monday and Wednesday. That's where you'll really feel emotionally tested on the way you can keep inner peace with yourself, and therefore all your relationships might be tested. But there are a lot of other issues going on right now. The planets are very scattered. One issue is Saturn working on being there for yourself when it comes to emotional boundaries. So Leos and Leo risings, the step ones, have got to really protect your own emotions and think for yourself before you go into any situation. Like a mother bringing a baby into a noisy situation, you got to think about that and think about your sensitivity. That throws the Leos off. They can't shine, they can't love if they're emotionally disrupted at the core. Another issue is it's time to move forward with the positive thinking, the right attitude, and the right message, and not allow your mind to meander anymore. It's got to be straight, focused, and action-oriented towards the future only. So that's super important. On the other side of that, you really need to be open and accept the fact that if you knew everything, you'd be happy today, now. So if you're not in Sirius Joy, you don't know everything, keep a fluid, open mind to what you believe. Don't say it should. Every time you say you should to yourself, ask yourself, says who? Is that the best policy for me? Another story that could threaten trust deals with literally an issue between higher faith and the actual reality. So faith versus reality has been a real bitch for the Leos and Leo risings. I know as well. And the inner faith has been retrograde, which means it's been issues of karma and past life lovers and all sorts of stuff with that retrograde. So it's been a very deep issue, those two poles. So you've had to have faith when there's no facts. You've been challenged in your daily life, and that has called for you to have more faith. And then probably the last story here, believe it, there's this much, has to do with self-compassion. This is where Leos and Leo risings have been really poor to themselves, has been being nice to themselves, especially in their minds, and especially with the way they respond to their own feelings. A Leo is very loving and sweet to most people, but then will throw themselves into the fire, into the coal. So the self-nurturing and self-compassion is something I'm going to go deep on, particularly in GA Venus with my ladies, as I like to say. Now, looking at love and the story for love for Leos, and looking at the 1VQs, which is where your Venus quotient is. Incidentally, if you want to know your Venus quotient and you're a lady, come to gavenus.me, and we have actually some Venus volunteers who will help you look it up and post your chart and whatnot. If you have a 1VQ, this week is really about moving forward with the appropriate lifestyle, okay, that will bring you the love that you want. So, you know, I've heard this often in light work and speak where they say make the space if you want the love. Well, you are wrapping up this week a long-term transit where you've been focusing on what marriage and partnership ought to be when it's moving forward incorrectly. So that said, your love story technically with where Venus is today, and for the 1VQs as well, is to move forward with the lifestyle and make the space. Also to step away officially from anything that's not working right here, right now, in the moment. Very, very important for Leos and Leo risings and 1VQs that if it's not right here, right now, it's not real. That's part of the mind game issues, part of the emotional manipulation. A lot of times you don't want to face the music, and so you let yourself go off and believe far away, and really it's like, nope, it's not satisfying your heart right here, right now. And so this is an area for the 1VQs, the Leos and the Leo risings, that this week you want to act on your decisions to change your life. And if you do that, that is what you can do for your love story. That is what you can do, says Venus in Capricorn as of right now anyway. So come on down, ladies, to giavenus.me and we will look up your VQ. It's not difficult. We have videos, and gentlemen, we'll be helping you shortly. Sign up for our mailing list. That'll help. We'll get to you as soon as we can. So I do want to invite everyone, a real quick call to action here. For one, if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to us. This helps us reach out to you, and this also tells us we're doing an okay job. So please subscribe on YouTube. Also, if you are a lady, come on down to giavenus.me and check out a little bit more about yourself and your capacity and quotient for love. And no matter who you are, come on down to our mailing list to come to soulmart.me, where I have a bunch of my own TV shows archived, as well as a mailing list I'd like you to sign up for. If you sign up for the mailing list, I'll send you the zodiac weather every day. So come on down and get on the list. That's the first thing you can step towards your serious joy. All right, that's all I have for this forecast. I will see you in 7 days with more. Until then, Your Royal Highness, live, love, be.